Nice. Down to 1. We get pretty lucky considering those early misplays.
Yep.
What a perfect draw right before their ultimatum. Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're playing Mono White Aggro, an archetype that we've been trying to crack for a while, and we've done it. Today we play 3 wins, 0 losses, going 3-0 in traditional standard, getting 6 notches in our wins and moving up a rank. So if you're looking to climb ranked into Diamond and Mythic this season, Mono White Aggro is going to be the perfect deck for you. If you find any value within this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel out to a friend, and of course hit the bell icon so you're notified of our future uploads. You do not want to miss out on our 500,000 gem giveaway. The deck list starts out with 3 copies of Giant Killer. This is a 1/2 in which we can pay 2 plus tapping itself to tap target creature. This is great because we can use it as the blocker if we need. Plus, we can tap it on our opponent's end step to tap one of their, planned blockers, so it can't block, opening up our attack lanes on our turn. As soon as our turn starts and our opponent's end step ends, our Giant Killer will untap and their creature will remain tapped. We also have Chop Down at instant speed as the adventure at 3 mana cost, so it's a little bit more expensive. Destroying target creature with power 4 or greater, still totally worth it. Instant speed removal on Omnath is absolutely a requirement within most decks right now. We also have 3 copies of Selfless Savior, a 1/1 in which we can sacrifice to give another target creature indestructible until end of turn. There's a lot of field wipes and removal around. We're starting to see control decks start to enter the meta, more prevalent, and this is going to be a great way to get around some of that removal. 4 copies of Venerable Knight. This is one of our main attackers. It costs 1, so it's really cheap. It's easy to play. A 2/1, and when it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target knight you control. The only knights we have in the deck are our Venerable Knight, so they will die and put a token on another Venerable Knight. If you don't have another Venerable Knight, it's just a fizzled ability. But that is a little bit of motivation for you guys to be stacking your Venerable Knights, because now when one dies, the other will get stronger. Into our 2 drops, Shepherd of the Flock. This is a 3/1 for 2, so a great attacker here. It does have Usher to Safety as an instant speed adventure attached to it, returning target permanent you control to its owner's hand. It's easy to mistake this for permanent that your opponent controls, but it's actually something that you control. So we're talking about surviving the control meta and the removal. This is going to help you do it. Just bouncing something back so it doesn't get removed. We can replay it. And speaking of things that we want to bounce back and avoid having removed, is the Luminarch Aspirant. This is a 1/1, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. This is absolutely amazing. It makes our other creatures stronger. It's not legendary. You can stack it. So your opponent's really going to want to remove this as quickly as possible, so you can keep your Usher to Safety to bounce your Luminarch Aspirant back to your hand, which is quite nice. Seasoned Hallowblade, I absolutely love. This is another 3/1, much like Shepherd of the Flock. We can discard a card, tapping it, and giving it indestructible until end of turn. If you're playing against this card, you need to be using your removal on it before your opponent's attack phase and attackers are declared, or else they still get the attack through. If you use your removal first, then it has to be tapped to gain indestructible, right? So, for our sake, we don't want instant speed removal making us tap it before our attack phase. We want people to be misplaying, using it once attackers have already been declared, or just having sorcery speed removal and not having that option in general. Seasoned Hallowblade makes an amazing target for our Luminarch Aspirants +1/+1 counters, because it can just gain indestructible basically at will. And the only thing we're going to need to remember about the Seasoned Hallowblade within the deck is keeping maybe a spare land in hand to discard, and making sure that we always have stuff in hand to discard to allow it to gain that indestructible, avoiding our opponent's removal and continuing that damage output. We talked about the Aspirant already, putting things on creatures that have that form of evasion, whether it's our Hallowblade that can have indestructible for, I guess, survivability, not evasion, or you know, some of our creatures later on that have flying, which is a legitimate form of evasion, that can get that consistent damage in over the ground blockers. A little bit of removal in the deck, not a lot. Kabira Takedown and Kabira Plateau. This is an MDFC coming in tapped, adding a plains to our pool. Well, not a plains actually, but a white mana source to our pool. And then an instant speed for 2, dealing damage to target creature equal, or planeswalker equal to the number of creatures you control. Sorry about that. So, you know, they could have a flyer. They could have something that, you know, really isn't friendly. And the fact that it's instant speed, again, we can deal with Omnath because we're going so wide. We're going to have 4 creatures out. We can deal with Son. What's that rogue? Zareth Son or something. You know, we can deal with that instant speed as well. So, you know, this is great within the meta, dealing with Omnaths, dealing with rogues. Speaking of the little bit of removal that the deck does have, Glass Casket. We have 3 copies of this for 2. An artifact. When it enters battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less until the casket leaves the field. Gem Razor is about, so be aware of that if you're playing against green, that your caskets are probably going to get smashed. But, you know, for those rogue matchups, for those other matchups, you know, the control matchups even, because the sharks can get quite out of control, right? This can deal with an 8/8 shark token quite easily. So, you know, it's not totally unviable within the control matchups, but it does lose a little bit of effectiveness. Where it really shines is, you know, those creature matchups. Into our 3 drops, we have the Archon of Emeria, 2/3 flying. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. So, you know, this is great because we do have a little bit of instant speed interaction within our deck. And, you know, with the Archon in play, we can cast once on our turn, we can cast once on our opponent's turn. Where this is bad is where our opponent also has lots of instant speed interaction. We only have a little bit. Our opponent could have a lot, and now if we are shutting them down on their turn and they want to play 2-3 spells on our turn, yeah, it still shuts them down to only 1, but they're going to have the consistency to be doing 1 on their turn, 1 on your turn all the time, where we might get 1 on our turn, 1 on their turns just a few times, right? Maul of the Skyclaves, another 3-drop, of course. This is one of my favorite cards within the deck here. When it enters the battlefield, you automatically equip it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has flying and first strike. So we're talking about the evasion through flying earlier with the Luminarch Aspirant, +1/+1 tokens, or counters, I should say. We can put those early on. Our Seasoned Hallowblade, absolutely amazing because the indestructible. And then once the mid game rolls around, we can put our Skyclave Maul again on the Hallowblade, giving it evasion through flying, another +2/+2, which is amazing, and it's very easy to keep alive through the discard and indestructible. It can be put on other things as well, but you know, the ideal play here for the Skyclave is on the Hallowblade. Speaking of Skyclaves, we have the Apparition as well, a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-token permanent your opponent controls with converted mana cost 4 or less. And then when the Apparition leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is that card's converted mana cost that was exiled. You know, it's a 2/2, a body in play, plus it's opening up your attack lanes. Absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned. We do probably want to protect it, though, from removal, because we don't want to give our opponent a 2/2 XX, or not a 2/2, just an XX, sorry. So we can protect it with Selfless Savior. There is a little bit of protection on our Apparition, not a lot. Again, if we bounce it to our hand with the Flock, they're going to get that XX as well, so a little bit of annoyance there. Moving on, 2 copies of Legion Angel for 4/3 with flying. We're talking about evasion being very powerful. This is a little bit more of it in the mid to late game. And when it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you owned, name Legion Angel from outside the game, and put it into your hand. We've got 2 in the sideboard. You know, there's 2 in the deck, so we can consistently pull it in the mid game. The flying is absolutely amazing, and then if there is removal, we've got more creatures. We're going to continue to lay in these 4/3 flyers for a few turns consistently. If we can build to 5, we have our Makindi Stampede. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn for 5. Very expensive, like I said. You know, if we go wide enough, this is great. But where this really shines is the fact that it's also a land, enters the battlefield tapped. You know, the MDFCs are amazing because this is so great if you're flooding, right? It just activates, you know, so much more power within your field state rather than just another land. And then if you brick, the land is absolutely amazing, and it's going to get your deck started and on the way to victory. Speaking of MDFCs, we have Amira's Call and Amira's Shattered Skyclave. This one's a little bit more powerful for 7. Right, 2 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn. So during your opponent's turn, they'll have indestructible as well. So, you know, they've got indestructible. They get to smash in, you know, without, you know, really any downfall other than tapping themselves. So you have to make sure that your opponent can't kill you on the backswing, but you know, if they have blockers, go for it. You guys aren't going to die. And then if they have removal on their turn, don't worry, you guys aren't going to die. The only thing you need to worry about is exile, #extinction event. And of course, on your next attack, you still have all of your creatures because they had indestructible, plus the 2 4/4s in the air, which is going to seal the deal. And of course, we can pay 3 life to have the land come in untapped. And if we don't want to, it can just come in tapped. But as an aggro deck, we don't care about our health points. We're going to smash their health points in before they even start looking at ours. And of course, these spells are accompanied by 18 planes and 3 Castle Ardenvales, in which we can tap for 5, creating a 1/1, which is just great at the end of the day. Playing traditional, like I talked about, so we do incorporate the sideboard. 2 additional Legion Angels, which we don't sideboard. These just stay here. We don't touch them at all. 2 copies of Baneslayer Angel. You know, this is a 5-drop, 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from dragons and demons, which isn't really relevant. You know, against aggro matchups, this is irrelevant. Mono red, I'm so sorry. We're going to play our Baneslayer Angel on you, and it's going to be sad. Lava Brink Venture. If your opponent's got a lot of removal that, you know, you could get around it like this, right? Try to play one is even, one is odd, and force them to do it that way. It's hard to say. The exile event still gets it. But again, this could be the difference between, you know, getting 3 damage in and not, if your opponent is starting to top deck and you know that they've got you know, only Drown into Locks, for example, right, as removal. You know, you can get this in uncountered from the rogues. You can give it protection from even, so it's not going to get hit now by Drown in the Lock. It's not going to get hit by Petty Theft. So a really great card against specific decks within the meta, like Dimir Rogues. Idol of Endurance. This is an artifact for 3. When it enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until the idol leaves the battlefield. We can pay 2 and tap it until end of turn. You may cast cards, creature spells exiled this way without paying the mana cost, which is pretty cool. But you know, the deck is so light on mana costs, we're not really gaining anything because it costs 2 plus a tap. So the only thing we'd really get to play is like a Legion Angel or an Apparition at discount, maybe an Archon, but you're still not even saving that much. Where this does shine is if your opponent has field wipes, right? You get hit with the Shadow of the Sky, you know, you don't have any creatures in your hand. The artifact can exile all those creatures that died, and now you can start replaying them every single turn, which is, you know, a good deal of mid to late game card advantage against some of those control decks, which you're going to burn out if they do have their removal. 2 additional copies of the Archon. You know, if they're a Spell Slinger deck, they're going crazy. Multiple low-cost spells. This is going to do absolute wonders for you. Revoke of Existence. You know, it hits the Clovers. It hits other annoying enchantments. You know, not to mention Annex. It is sorcery speed, so a little bit of a downfall there. An additional Glass Casket. We talked about that. And the Containment Priest. This is a good card, you guys. If there's any Genesis events, Sterix, you know, this is going to be the creature you go to. 2/2 with Flash. And if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Yes, please. So we can just shut that down. So that's the, you know, the deck list and some of the general strategies. As far as, you know, your specific sideboards go, take out what was bad, put in what was good. If there's no removal or interaction, you can take out the Shepherd and put in, you know, some more aggro. If you need to defend against the ultimatum, like I said, put your Priest in. You know, if the Glass Caskets aren't doing anything, take those out. So, did you need removal? Yes or no? If no, take it all out and put some other stuff in. If yes, maybe you take some more in and put some other stuff out, right? Pretty simple. We did a great job explaining the sideboards today for you guys. So without further ado, I'm live on YouTube every morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard. We switch over when we're done there to Twitch. It's usually around 7 to 7:30. We're on Twitch for about 5 to 8 hours every single day, and then we're back on YouTube at 6 p.m. to close out the day. So you guys get a full lineup of content with us every single day. Again, those are all mountain standards. If you don't want to do the time conversion, there's a Linktree link in the description below the YouTube video. Click on that. It will open up all the different places you can go. Hit up the YouTube, hit up the Twitch, give it a follow, subscribe, whatever it happens to be, and then you'll be notified, and you don't have to care about the conversions. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Of course, we do have the free cash prize tournaments, Artisan and Brawl every single month, the 500,000 gem giveaway, and we are using the MTGA Assistant today, the best metagame / stat tracker you can get for Arena to upgrade your skill set and your win rate. So check it out. The link for that is in the Overwolf link in the description as well. Thanks for your time and attention. Let's get into our gameplay footage here with Mono White Aggro that had a 100% win rate within Platinum, tearing it up. And, you know, I'm actually really looking forward to playing this deck into Mythic this season. So make sure to watch to the end because we have some once-in-a-lifetime news that you don't want to miss out on. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. All right, keeping 7 here. I mean, I'm absolutely in love with the Luminarch Aspirant. We might use the takedown. We do have our 3 lands. We only really need 4. Cobra Kai, just absolutely amazing. We're gonna need to kill it almost immediately. Let's just get the aggro in. They're not gonna block. Omnath. Oh no, they didn't take the correct mana. Just straight up mutate. Great Horn. Another land. So it does come in tap, so they'll only go to 2, but still annoying. Well, we kind of do pull our land, and we should use our takedown, but it's too tough. Oh, and it's equal to the number of creatures you control, so we do need to go wide. I don't think we're gonna get to 7 here, so let's just play this in tapped. And then next turn, we are free and clear to use our Angel. Our opponent's down to 12. This is where it all goes bad, though. It all goes wrong here. Hashtag Genesis Ultimatum. Look out. Okay, Scale the Heights. This is interesting. You play an additional land this turn, draw a card. I mean, that's not bad, right? That's actually kind of neat. +1/+1 counter as well. We're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rolling Regrowth now. Sacrificing land, putting 2 into play, tapped. So they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. 2 cards in hand. Is it just me or did I... Oh, it did double trigger, so there's 2 lands. You fool. Gargaroth in play. Hashtag ouchie. It's got reach, and that's annoying. What do we do? What do we do? I think we just attack, right? Let's go for it. It's mono white aggro, not mono white hang around and let your opponent just play Gargaroth. Right, we lose nothing really. I mean, it was a Venerable Knight. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Can't even get it out. Just hashtag mutation stack to the roof. You know. And then another Gargaroth in play. That's awesome. Good for us. Ah! If this is another mutation, I guess we could probably scoop. Take it on the chin. Trade with it again, they draw, it's another mutation, and we cry. Right, hopefully it's just a land, and then these Legion Angels can just cycle into each other. Right? We will have to deal with the Sterix at some point. And if there's any more mutations, then we're donezo. But, I mean, we can try to play on their misfortune. We can't kill the Sterix, it's free to attack. I think they have removal and they're like, well, he's... Ugh. Ugh. That's good removal. No blocks. I'd say we're probably donezo. Of course, it costs so much more than 3. We can take the Cobra. No attacks. I think we chump block with the Aspirant. We play the Angel. And we concede. That's the mutate we didn't want to happen. So we know our opponent is... They're going to be playing the mutate, right? Which is great. We're talking about Containment Priest. That's going to deal with those Sterix cards entering the field really well. The Angels obviously stay. I mean, I like the idea of taking their snakes, but they're going to mutate onto them. And then the casket's basically dead. They have no field wipes. So the Hallowblade can go. It would survive the shattering. Life gain wasn't an issue. Not so much with the Venture. I mean, because they can mutate, they can switch from odd to even pretty easily, so Venture's not right there. Again, not a lot of wipes, so I don't think we need this. I think it's just the Containment Priest is really good for us. And, I mean, the flying is great. The Apparition is very, very good. Yeah, we'll probably leave it here. I mean, you could probably make a case for an additional casket and just try to get their creatures that they're going to try to mutate onto early, I guess. And probably dropping a Savior, I imagine, again, because we probably don't need too much for Indestructible. It is just their one removal spell, I think. Playing first here, that should really help us out. Keeping 7, the hand looks nice. Dog in play. We do have Giant Killer to, you know, eat that mutate stack whenever we so choose. And, it's a really hard call here, actually. This is instant speed. Yeah, we're gonna save that. Hit for 1. Whatever they play, we're gonna bounce to their hand. Right? Presumably it's a snake. Yeah, and that's good for them, but not so oh, you control cancel. You fool. I should probably read that. So that can protect us from something, I suppose. I guess we just go big, and then we hold up our removal. This permanent you control though as well. That's actually kind of neat. I play a land, go to 2. Play 3rd Cobra. That'd be crazy. No way! Woo! Woo! Wow. I think we probably just go in. With our pooch and our turn. I really like holding Giant Killer in play. You know, they're gonna mutate. We don't really need to worry about anything until they do, unless it is just the ultimatum. And that's a whole nother story. We've not seen any Omnath, you know, signs really, no planes. Yeah, and so this is that situation we're going to try to resolve. Just shutting it down. They're going to get to put 1 permanent. And they actually exile one of their ultimatums. So we know that that is a potential, and that we're going to need to avoid that. I think we take the creature. Right? We save Giant Killer. Oh, 4 or less. I gotta start reading these cards. We can come and tap here. We got nothing for 2. That's so embarrassing. We get it for 3. Let's see if they mutate onto the Sterix. LOL. I can't believe it. If we win this, it's a miracle. Wow. Let's see if we get it. We do. And we even had massive misplays. This is 4 to re-equip. Let's go all in. You know, if we take the snakes, that just takes them further back from their ultimatum. They know this, they've realized it. So they'll take 1, they'll take 1. They don't have the mana, so that's fine. Ooh. So we can make our apparition indestructible, I believe, right? Because we don't want them to get their dude back. And then we just equip this and hit for lethal. Almost. They'll have to hit us with another wipe. No. Okay. So that worked out okay. We did see the need for the indestructible there, right? So let's take our Hallowblade back. Let's drop Shepherd. And let's drop... maybe a Venerable Knight. Just focus on our removal. Because we should be able to, like, kill them, obviously, if we don't let the ramp take place. If we can limit the snakes and try to avoid the Great Horns. Wow, I'm keeping this. This is actually a little bit rude. And we pull land. Interesting. So let's hold the phone. You know, no matter whatever they play, we've got them covered. Hallowblade can go in. That's gonna be our blade damage. 3 per turn. Pretty nice. Ending our turn. Let's just play it out. They're gonna waste a wrath on a creature. Okay, that's actually kind of annoying. So it dodges both of our casket and our giant killer. I'm gonna try to trade with it via the takedown. They're just gonna take the damage, which is actually not that bad for us. And if there's a mutation, we've got our giant killer. Right? There's no cobras in play. We also just have instant speed removal with our takedown on anything less than 2. Well, we're gonna have to use our giant killer on that. Nice. Again, just threatening to take out the Great Horn here. Down to 11. We have instant speed for 3. Gross. We need another giant killer. They put the Serix underneath, which allows us to take the stack. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Wow. And now we have 4 creatures. So let's take out the Parcel Beast. And we get a massive hit. Oh my gosh. They just needed to put the Sterix on top, and we wouldn't have been able to get it with our Apparition. A Apparition gains indestructible, and now the Hallowblade gains indestructible. And we knew this Storm Wrath was coming, that's why we put all of those indestructible creatures back in play. We still hit for 5. The Scoot! The Scoot! That's fine. Having the Priest is really nice in hand. Nice. Down to 1. We get pretty lucky considering those early misplays. Yep. What a perfect draw right before their ultimatum. Wow. Woo! Okay. Looks good to me. Our opponent's thinking about their hand still, maybe. No, just waiting on servers. Lego! Don't you dare! This Bloodchief's Thirst is absolutely agonizing to play against. You dog. I'm gonna go Hallowblade first, just in case there's more removal. At least we can get around it. Right? The Luminarch Aspirant's actually pretty high value. And this is gonna be that Grixis control deck that we don't want to play against. No Lurrus as companion, so... I'm gonna toss the casket. I don't think they've got creatures. Well, I mean, we could have tossed a land, apparently. Let's keep these other lands in play, and we're just gonna use them to discard, right? We're not gonna play lands that we don't need to. And then hopefully we just keep clicking up Hallowblade and smashing in. We do have 2 evens though, so we're talking about an extinction event being our kryptonite here. That's what we're looking to avoid. This is a problem. That is a 3rd Bloodchief's Thirst. How do you get those all in your draw hand? This is the best removal spell in the new set, as far as I'm concerned. We're putting out good amounts of damage. And they need to exile us. Now we have an odd and an even though, so it becomes less viable than it was before. Hit for 6. Come on, let us have it. Let us have it, baby. Can't kill it. It's too small. Tossing that land like we talked about. They're not playing creatures, so let's take advantage of going wide. Forcing their hand into removal. Plains is to toss. Wait for 7. They have 4 cards in hand. Not good. I mean, they've dropped such fire on us already. Alright, whatever. Whatever. It's fine. 3 cards. Woo! What a top deck. Keeping the land to discard. That Hallowblade is tough. TUFF, baby. All caps. Alright. We got this dumb shark again. They're getting so lucky, like, look at this fire. They should really... Wow, okay. Maybe we can pull some of our own removal for this shark. I don't know what we even have that would do that. Nothing. The Skyclave can do it. Oh no, it's a token. Right, I think the Skyclave doesn't take tokens. Exile target, non-land, non-token permanent. Yeah, so we can't take the token. That's just gonna be a problem for us. We can start putting our counters on the Aspirant though. And now they've got 2 targets to deal with. I'm sure there's more removal in hand though. I'm gonna make our blade indestructible. We get it. And now we'll just take damage because we're not discarding. They had a chance to interact at instant speed, so if there was sorcery removal in their hand, we just got around it. They have to block the blade. We get 2 in for free. It's close. We're pushing it as hard as we can. Oh, you dog! How are you getting 3 of a kind? Like, that's a 4th Shark Typhoon. No, 3rd. 3 Shark Typhoons, 3 Blood Chief's Thirst. Woo! It's lit. Alright, we trade, and they're down to nothing but their Kroxa. Which they cannot play. They don't have a second red source. Okay. Interesting. The plot thickens. Have we been able to fight through the removal into lethal? Come on, Billy. Woo! Alright, let's take it to the sideboard. Grixis control. Not a lot of creatures. We have Kroxa to deal with. Maybe... Wow, because they have so much removal that we don't want to go too heavy, right? I mean, Casket can probably go. They're doing the sharks on our turn. We might want Revoke Existence to hit a Shark Typhoon if it's gonna actually enter as the enchantment. What don't we want, though, is the thing. Giant Killer's kind of not really a requirement so much. I mean, the Caskets eat the Shark tokens. That's a thing. It could be good for that aspect. It's really hard to say. Are we going to need to deal with those sharks, or are we going to ignore them? Same as the artifacts / enchantments. Are we gonna... Is the game gonna go to 6? No, we should kill them before 6. Let's take the Venturers. I think that's a cool tech. And because they're a control deck, not doing a lot of damage, let's take 1 Baneslayer. You know, maybe we get all their removal out of the hand. We play the Baneslayer. They have Kroxa in play. We go right over top and smash them, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to manifest here. Our opponent is obviously going to play first. There's not a lot of land here is the thing. I think we toss it. I mean, it looks good with the Hallowblade. We've seen that perform well. Keep 6 here. Toss the slow land. Right? There's no creatures for us to deal damage to. So we have 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. Again, Apparition can take any non-land permanent, which is pretty cool. Prone to removal, though, so it could be kind of weird. Straight into the removal, again, I'm sure. Gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know? It becomes a 2/2, it can dodge the spike. I don't know, we'll see where this turn takes us. I'm sure it's just gonna get slayed, right? Interesting. That's a good pickup. Let's just start stacking on the blade, right? We know it survives. Unless it's an extinction event, and that's just, like I said, really sad for our deck. Let's take the indestructible beforehand. The 3 life's not a big deal. Alright, there's the removal that we were avoiding via indestructible sorcery speed, so we actually can get away with that. And we can actually play the pup because it acts as a form of indestructible. So we don't have to have the discard. And that way we get to hit for more damage next turn if there's no play. Exiles are bad. Passing your turn is good. Oh, it's a heartless act. So I think that if they do it at instant speed, they could kill the Hallowblade here. No, we get it. Okay, so it's safe. What I would do for a couple more mana, we're gonna keep it to discard. Go! Down to 6. Lethal next turn. Let's see if we can get it. Probably not. There's so much removal here. Woo! They do not get it. Nice. 3 lands a lot, but we'll keep it. Oh, mono red. That's a little weird. I'm gonna play the more defensive creature against mono red to make sure it is a shock, not a spike, right? Because they could have spiked instant speed our knight. So we're kind of reducing the amount of cards that would have been effective from 8 to 4, from the spike and the shock to just the shock. Oh, interesting. We could have put it on the Aspirant, because we do think they have it, but I want to get that damage in, and it wouldn't have mattered. It would have died either way, so this way the giant killer is actually escaping some of the damage that they do. We're going to keep these 2 lands to discard with our blade. We would like, you know, maybe an Angel or more Aspirants, I think. Knight's Gonzo, whatever. As long as they're not playing them as creatures, we keep doing damage, right? And I'm not scared of these vortexes. That makes our job actually easier. We can deal with 1 giant with our killer. And they only have mana to play 1 of them. And we can deal with the other this way. So, it's awesome! We have lethal next turn. We only need 1 land to discard. End our turn. The Vortex does that extra damage that we would be lacking. That's why I said we had lethal, because we do hit for 5. They were at 6, but now down to 4. And we're ready to, you know, chop down some giants. Or some Skyclave Apparitions. We can even... Ooh. Ooh. It's a good thing this one's instant speed. Right, so we're gonna have to actually utilize both of the spells. But again, just unstoppable. How are we sideboarding against this Rakdos aggro slash mid-range? So we're talking evens, odds, but the stomp is even. I think we're going to be choosing evens with our Venturer, right? Just to block that big body. Unless they're giving it flying. That's annoying. What'd they have for removal? It didn't seem like any, so maybe we take our own anti-aggro implementation within Baneslayer. I don't think Shepherd's really that great for us here. I think the Glass Casket is absolutely amazing for us. That's very good. And I think because they have so much removal, our Apparition can go down a little bit. And we're just going to focus on the Casket for our removal instead, because, you know, they're not going to be removing the Caskets, but they will be removing the Apparitions, so... Just trying to reduce the total amount of value that they can get out of the interactions that we've seen already take place. Sol Delta. Sol being the sun. What is Delta? Is that like, what number is Delta? I should know this. Is it 3? You know, the things I look up. This hand looks great. Number 4. Delta is 4. The things we should know but don't, right? I mean, really good opening hand here. We have our Apparition, which we kind of didn't want to draw, but regardless, we got our Casket, which we definitely did, and who doesn't love the Luminarch Aspirant as well. We're going to put the token on itself. You know, Shock is going to be a thing that isn't good, right? Especially if, you know, like a Mountain comes in untapped and they don't spend their mana. Don't do it. At least they did 3 damage. Oh, but can they spend their mana? That's great, so we can Casket. No. No blocks. Or we leave it. I think we take it. They can play their Scourge, but we'll just Aspire it. A lot of land. Where's our Blade, baby? Trident, self-mill, 2 life. Death Touch, that's the real keeper there. Let's just take it. Keep doing damage. That's the important part, right? Hopefully there's no more. We see a Torbrand get tossed. We see a, you know, Stormfist Crusader get tossed. Interesting. We're gonna get stomped here. Sucks. They get, what is it? A 2/2? Blast it. Let's buff it. Let's smack home. Dosh there. Wow. Nice. If we can get a couple more 1/1 counters on our Luminarch Aspirant, so that's going to be really nice. 3 cards in hand. One of them's a giant to play for a blocker. They go for the giant. They could still hit us for 2. Hopefully not. They Heartless Act instead. Okay. The plot thickens. We can make Ardenvale tokens. And turn. We need them to top deck so bad that, you know, they want to uninstall the game, start playing Runeterra. Land, land, land. Am I right? I'm gonna take this damage. No blocks. Better be an Embercleave. Make it worth your while, baby. See, I'd rather have this token as damage output. Maybe we should have used it as a chump block. Let's see what happens here. They're targeting us, which is so goddamn upsetting to me. We should have just blocked, you know, we basically, well, we draw out the fling. And you know, that's kind of important, I guess. We get a draw engine, which we desperately need. They have less health than us. We're gonna stack these Ardenvales, right? We could even double block if we wanted. More land, heck yeah. We put a curse on our opponent, but it has mirrored back onto us, which is so often the case within life. Uh-oh. Those big daddy damages coming in now. Lisa's is flying. This has taken a turn for the absolute worst. Yikes. Stop it. We need some instant speed interaction, and we're taking 3 damage here. Oh! Oh no, only 1. Why is that so? It's just loses life is not equal to damage dealt. Okay, so we know this, right? So it's not that Stormfist Crusader is dealing any damage to us, and that's the red source, but it's just a universal effect that takes place over the whole board and doesn't come from a color source. So thankfully, we're taking 1 damage there, which is great. Wow, they're just stacking on. Absolutely turbo style, though. Wow. Oh, they mill an Embercleave. and their Scourge. We're still gonna lose, but... Woo! Big damage, I know. Probably gonna lose. But I needed the 2 creatures just in case we got so lucky. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We're a little short, but we get close. No, this actually is lethal. We win the game. 2 damage from Stormfist Crusader. Hashtag AO! Woohoo! Wow. That's incredible. Woof. This deck slaps. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to tune up the outro here, make it really quick. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, support on YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch. We also have the Amazon link, which I get 3% from all purchases for 24 hours. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Make sure to go watch another video. Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.